All right, my Virgo friends, how are you today? Michael Eschenburg here, Honest Aim, bringing you your monthly horoscope for June 2020. All right, disclaimer: I didn't put out May monthly horoscopes. All right, and my purpose and goal as an astrologer is to empower people, is to find the hard aspects and turn them into positivity, to find the things that are challenging and turn them into opportunities, instead of looking at them and saying, oh, that's how it is. You know, there's always an opportunity for growth. There's always a silver lining behind everything. All right, so my goal is to accurately give you information that's going to best suit you as an individual. Now, I do daily horoscopes, so if you're new to the channel or if you've been following along, you know, the daily horoscopes is an overall energy that we're all feeling, that we're all going through, where the monthly horoscopes is more tailored toward a specific sign, right? Now, I am a Virgo rising. I'm a 2 degrees Virgo rising. And one of my closest friends in the world is a 28-degree Virgo rising, both Cancer suns. All right? So when I read Virgo for myself, I'm 2 degrees. That means everything that's after 2 degrees is accurately in that house. You know, for my friend who's a 28-degree Virgo, she's better off reading or listening to the Libra horoscope. You see? Because what's happening in the early degrees of Virgo, or what's happening, you know, that's her 12th house. First house is here, right? At 28 degrees to 28 degrees, something like that. So you understand what I'm saying? So if you know your own chart, if you know where your chart lines up, where your rising is or where your sun is, this definitely to me deals more with your rising sign and your sun sign, but by all means, listen to whatever, and it, you know, might resonate, or your moon as well. So depending on where your chart is and how things are lined up, find the information that seeks you out, okay? If you're curious in getting a reading from me, drop me a line. My email is in the description below, so I can give you a very, very accurate reading of what's going on for the month ahead or the year ahead or whatever it may be. Okay, so disclaimer aside, let's dive into our charts. I'm a Virgo too, right? We got so much going on. All right, here we go. So right off of the gate on the 3rd, okay, we've got, this is in our 10th house too, guys. This is cool. All right, career, Venus, Sun, conjunction. All right, now I've got this set to June 5th. So this is happening 2 days prior. So it's going to happen at 13 degrees. All right, Venus and the Sun are both going to be at 13 degrees. And the sun's going to, or the moon's going to be over here in Scorpio, creating a quincunx. All right, it's that annoying aspect, the someone's in your blind spot aspect. Your emotional moon needs what? Our emotional moon needs these deep passions, these deep desires to manifest. Otherwise, we're not going to be happy in our career. All right, so there's this little nagging tap on the shoulder as this is going on. This is a very special connection between the Sun and Venus. It happens once every year and a half. And these Venus's 13 Venus years is 8 Earth years, and they line up 5 times. 13, 8, and 5. These are Fibonacci numbers, and they create a pentagram around the Sun, a 5-pointed star. Okay, I'm going to put out a whole other video about that in the next couple of days, so keep your eyes peeled. Check that one out. So either way, this being in our 10th house, this is dealing with our career, our public image, how people view us, right? And what do we love? What do we love? Have you changed careers at all, ever? You know what I mean? I wanted to be an archaeologist when I was a little boy, and then I thought, well, everything's going to be dug up by the time I become older, so there's no point in becoming an archaeologist. So I somehow ended up in the film industry. Now I don't even know if I love the film industry. So for me, that's definitely, you know, get up for, you know, debate here. Am I changing careers? Are you changing careers? I don't know. Drop me a line. Let me know what's going on with you. So either way, this could be a potential career changer as Venus is reevaluating that of which we love right now, that of which we desire. Now on the 5th, we got a lunar eclipse, okay, happening in our 4th house of home and family. Now anything within 18 degrees of the nodes is an eclipse. All right, let me see if I can actually do this and still keep you on. Yay, let's do that. Well, no, that doesn't work either. All right, either way, because I gotta keep this at Virgo. So later on the 5th, okay, the moon's gonna be over here, 15 degrees, 15 degrees, and the north node, or the north node's up here, excuse me. All right, so what's going on? What is this eclipse all about? As the north node, Venus, and the sun are all here in our career, our 10th house. Okay, what are we doing in our career? And where's the moon? This is emotionally what we need. And where does the moon reside? Home is the 4th house of Cancer. Okay, so the moon for us is moving into this 4th house place of home. This is home and family. We want a stable home and family life. And being Sagittarius, meaning we're seeking things, we're seeking knowledge. Our emotional moon means our home front is full of wisdom, inspirational quotes and philosophy and religion and all these beautiful things, right? So this eclipse is seeing our own shadow. So what is going on here between our career and our home that needs attention? We're seeing a glimpse of our shadow that we normally don't see. Okay, so this could be something about ourselves, something about our home. Maybe we're spending so much time focused on our careers that we're neglecting our home. Maybe we're focused so much time on how we look. This definitely deals with public image, how people view us. Am I so concerned with how I'm being viewed that I'm escaping, this authenticity of 4th house? Right? So this is up to us to figure out. We're all unique in this aspect. On the 13th, really powerful, cool aspect. On the 13th, Mars here and Neptune conjunct, and the moon will also be there as well. Okay, so Mars is our planet of action, Neptune is our planet of dreams, and this is our emotional need. So our emotional need lines up with our action, and our needs and our actions take us to our dreams. This is in our 7th house. This is about relationships, okay? This is dealing with the other. So if we've been working on a relationship, if there's a special someone in our lives, in our hearts, this is a really good month to potentially enter that dream-like relationship. Fingers crossed, guys, right? Ladies and gents, my Virgo friends. So beautiful time for relationships. And now if you're already in a partnership, romantic partnership, this could certainly be something to deal with career, as Pisces, Gemini, career relationships. So this is where the eclipses are at, and this is the manifestation happening. Okay, so something between career, home, how people see me, my home and family, relationships. Okay, something deep, something big is going on there for us this month. Really exciting. Now Mercury over here in our 11th house, Mercury is a planet of communication, information, dealing with knowledge, dealing with how we talk with one another. In the 11th house is the social community, the society at large, forward thinking, the big picture of things, right? Now in Cancer, what this is saying is, I need to be thinking about the community at large in a sense of care, in that nurturing feeling. And what's really fun here is Mercury rules Gemini. Now, although Venus rules Taurus and Libra, okay, nonetheless, Venus rules our emotions. This is our emotional need. This is our emotional wants and desires. So we have Venus, emotional wants and desires, in the sign of information. All the information, the good, bad, and ugly. We have to look at all of it. Then we have the planet of communication and information, all the information, the good, bad, and ugly, in the sign of emotions. Okay, so although these two aren't really making a proper aspect, I mean, they kind of will, but they're both going to be retrograde at the same time toward the end of the month. And the 18th, Venus, or Mercury retrogrades. Okay, and it's not until the 24th where Venus retrograde ends. So we have communication, information, knowledge in a place of heartfelt, nurturing, caring, compassion, and empathy. Then we have Venus, which rules all of those, the love and the desires and being caring and nurturing and empathetic. Those are partially the moon's characteristics, but nonetheless, Venus shares them with that love. in the sign of knowledge. So it's like knowledge and communication, love and communication, love and communication. You know, this is a love for our job, a love for our community, how we're moving forward with our job and the community, because for us, it's almost one and the same. This line is almost kind of blurred, right? Yeah, very, very cool aspect. Very cool aspects this month, my friends. Now, that's the 18th, Mercury retrograde. On the 21st is the big wahoo. This is the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse happening at 0 degrees of Cancer. Okay? So 0 degrees of Cancer, where is that going to line up for you? Well, I'm a 2-degree Virgo. So that won't be in my 11th house. That'll be in my 10th house, right? So where's that lining up for you? Most likely in your 10th house. Okay, this eclipse is most likely happening for a lot of us in our 10th house. Again, career. Our public image. What steps are we taking this month to assure us that this new moon, new beginning, total solar eclipse is going to be advantageous for us within our career? Okay. Now, the funny thing is we've got the North Node in Gemini, but the new moon itself will be at 0 degrees of Cancer. So again, just like Venus, emotions in the sign of knowledge, and knowledge thoughts in the sign of emotions, we have the eclipse itself, or the node itself, moving forward with the knowledge, pushing forward, saying, look at all of it, look at all of it. And then we're going to have the new moon beginning, the sun and the moon here in Cancer, which is about feeling all of it, feeling all of it. All right. Just really, 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 really cool on how all of these things are lining up for us. And again, this is somewhere blurred between this career and friends and family and community, right? So this is an opportunity for a new beginning, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can in the month of June, so that when this node, or when this eclipse happens, that we are sitting right and tight and where we need to be. So we got to get our minds right. Now, Virgo friends, this isn't always easy to talk about, okay? We deal with addictions. We deal with addictions, okay? We've got Mars and we've got Neptune in the 7th house. This deals with addictions for us. If we're dealing with addictions right now, let me take it back. If we hit this, you know, this is a lot to do with career and public image of where we're going. Now we have this 7th house dreams and manifestation of things happening over here, you know, and then career image. Now, what we do during this month chooses to shine on what we get back. You know, this is karmic stuff, on how, on what we put in is what we get out. Okay? And all the riches and all the fame in the world will never buy us self-worth. Okay? And if we're battling our self-worth right now, and I know some of you are, I know some of us are, okay, and we're dealing with why bother sobering up or why bother giving this thing up, you know, it's about our self-worth, and that there is a life beyond that which of what we know right now that offers so much more to us, you know. So there's a good chance that some of us are dealing with some of these things, and for us to acknowledge that for me to get to where I want to go, I absolutely have to sever with certain things that I'm doing right now. And if that's addictive thoughts of beating myself up and not being good enough, not being smart enough, not being, you know, we're Virgos, man. We're analytical, we're critical, we're precise and focused, and nothing is good enough, and no one is good enough. You know, it's like we need to recognize our own shadow during this on both ends. On the home front, so that we can have that relationship that we dream of, and on the career front, so that we can be the boss that we dream of. I mean, you're a boss, you're Virgo, you're a boss. And we have to, you know, have an appropriate use of our power and authority and being stable. Okay, so when we're dealing with Mars and Neptune in the 7th house, we can certainly be dealing with issues of the addictions. And this month we have an opportunity, these two eclipses, the alignment that's happening between Mars, the moon, and Neptune, The septile is that dream and fate-like connections that are happening with the planets in Capricorn. This is saying, look, this is an opportunity for you to break the cycle, to change your life, and to get on the path where you want to go. All right, so let's keep it going here. On the 22nd through the 30th, now we're getting into this good stuff down here. 5th house energy, baby. All right, so the 22nd through the 30th, this is 5th house. This is our creative self-expression. This is the Leo energy, okay? This is what's making Virgos shine right now. Virgos have been stepping up for the past 2 years, okay, where it's just like, well, I'm a practical earth sign, I'm behind the scenes, I'm doing this, and it's just like we've been being pulled to being the star of the show. We've been being pulled to be this forward-thinking person that's not afraid to express ourselves, not afraid to put ourselves out there and to be. And not only to be, but to light the path and light the way and show others that it's okay to be vulnerable, to be open, to allow this into our lives, right? So we have Jupiter retrograde coming back here to conjunct with Pluto. From the 22nd to the 30th, this is happening. Now we can see this happening globally. We can see this happening here in the United States with the overuse of authority. Okay, overuse of authority, abuse of power, vulgar display of power, and we need to squash it. Pluto is death and transformation, destruction. Okay, the phoenix rising from the ashes. So we have this abuse of power and policing, right? Government authorities. We've given too much authority, and now you're above the law. You know, it's like, no, you're not above the law. You are the same civil worker. You're the same as, you know, anybody else. So we have this energy here. This is our creative self-expression. Where are we using our own authority to be abusive? Where are we using our own authority to squash instead of to lift up? Okay, we have to be abundant in our authority. We have to be abundant in our creative self-expression, but not to the point of where it hurts others. All right. Really, really important, and that we want to do this to inspire other individuals. So this is like the end of the month kind of energy, and then, you know, on July 2nd, Saturn here is going to come back into Capricorn, completing this cycle, where it's in your 6th house right now, moving back into the 5th house. So it's from like the work that we're doing and the work that we're putting out there to the rest of the world, moving back into, we got to refigure out, before I fully move ahead with doing all of these things, I got to make sure I'm refined. Something that comes to mind with this is, and I've definitely talked about this guy on the show before on one of my daily videos. He's a homeless guy that he had this amazing radio voice, and he ended up being, you know, the spokesperson for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he had this amazing voice, right? And somebody said, "Hey, I'm going to get you a job. I'm going to do this," and the guy was a raging alcoholic, and the career. He got this dream set, but he couldn't, you know, it's like you can take the guy out of the streets, but you can't take the streets out of the guy. Okay. So what happened is this guy goes back to being an alcoholic, although now he's got all the money, all this wealth, and he's set up, you know, this incredible story, his turnaround story. And he goes back and he loses his job. So he goes back to the alcohol. He couldn't see beyond that alcohol. He couldn't see beyond this, you know, and this is the challenge through June, is to see beyond what is and create what's next. That's the crux of this month, to move beyond what we're seeing and creating what we really want and desire, the world that we believe in. Yeah. So it's like recognizing that that man is part of us. You know, I say this all the time, you're a reflection. You are my greatest strengths and weaknesses. I am a manifestation of your greatest strengths and weaknesses. We are one. This is this oneness, right? One consciousness, one, you know, so anyway, so that guy is a part of us. He's a part of our journey. And he's part of our archetype, showing us if we don't get things sorted, we're going to have the dream relationship, we can have the dream job, but if we don't put ourselves first, all the fame and all the wealth and all the riches in the world will not buy us self-worth. And it's our self-worth that keeps us going back to this misuse of power, drug use, self-sabotage. There's tons of things. Whatever it is, it's it. It's good. It could be gambling. Could be anything, right? So this month is allowing us to create the space to grow. What do we need to do to grow? What do we need to do to move beyond the space that we're in to go to the space where we're going? So that way, when we do get that dream relationship, when we do get that dream job, it doesn't end up just a dream. It ends up part of our physical reality. And we've been working very hard for this, and we're going to keep this, and we're going to sustain it. Practical earth sign. The end of the month, now the 27th, the very last thing to say here is Mars is moving out of our 7th house into the 8th house. Okay? Shared resources. So Mars is actively seeking relationship right now, and then Mars is going to be actively seeking how are we going to combine forces. We go alone, we go fast. If we go together, we go far. Okay, so shared resources, Mars is going to be there for 6 months in the sign of Aries. It won't be out until January of 2021 as it will retrograde. So for the next 6 months, come after June, so July through January, Mars will be in Aries. All right, so get ready. That's our 8th house. All right. It's a good month, my friends. Thank you as always for hanging out with me. Appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow.